Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Mandy and I like to talk about makeup panning, nail polish, and sometimes things happening in my real life. Today I have my monthly What I'm Into, where I share all the things that have been of interest to me over the last month, whether it is what I've been watching, what I've been reading, what I've been eating and or drinking, and anything else that strikes my fancy that I want to share. So if that is something you are interested in, then hit the subscribe button and stay tuned. All right, this is my What I'm Into for February 2025. I feel like I have a smudge there, which is not surprising. All right. So what have I been into lately? Well, let's talk a little bit about it. So first of all, it's probably not noticeable, but I did cut my hair just a little bit. I trimmed it up. That's, something I did. What I've been watching is what I usually start with, and that's what I'm going to be no exception. So I've been watching one thing mainly besides YouTube. I'm still watching makeup videos on YouTube and gaming videos and also some role-playing game videos on YouTube. But my main entertainment in the evenings has been True Blood on Max. I don't have that streaming service for me, so I have been pet sitting all month, and starting on February 1st and until today and until March 2nd, I am pet sitting, and luckily both houses I've been at have had Max, and I have been watching True Blood. If you've been here for a while, you know I love my witches, my werewolves, my vampires. And that is everything in True Blood. I started last month or the month before in December, I think, and had watched through into the second season. Now I'm up to season 6. I just started season 6 last night. There are 7 or 8 seasons. I think there are 7 seasons. So I have 2 more seasons left to go, and I should finish them by the end of the month. And then I don't know what I'm going to watch. So if you guys have any suggestions on what I can watch, let me know. Or what you think I would enjoy watching, let me know. When I'm at home, I have access to Disney Plus and Prime. So if it's on one of those streaming services, that helps. Otherwise, who knows? And that's the only thing I've been watching besides YouTube. So yeah, moving on. What I've been reading. I don't know if I talked about last month. Well, I did. Last month I was reading Taltos from Anne Rice and Soul Music. And then I don't think I mentioned it. I don't know if I'd started it yet, but after Taltos, I went on to Orson Scott Card's Red Prophet. This is the second book in the Tales of Alvin Maker series. And I reread the first book back in December, I believe. Don't have my reading journal in front of me. I could actually just look at here. Yes, that was Seventh Son. This is the sequel to that, Red Prophet. It follows Alvin Miller Jr. and it expands on the world that we learned about in the first story, elaborates on some of the characters, and goes into what happened right after that book. This book is the series is by the Orson Scott Card, if you don't know, wrote Ender's Game. And this series is set in the Wild West, the pioneer days of America, but it's an alternate reality to what we have now, what we know. It's not our reality. So there are things that are similar, places, people, but they're just a little bit different. I'm not a big Western fan, but I am a big fantasy fan, so this is a sort of a historical fantasy, and I do enjoy it very much. I think Orson Scott Card is an excellent writer, and I really enjoyed this, and I can't wait to figure out which is the next book in the series, because at the beginning, you know, they have all the books that somebody writes, and I think they're usually in order. So they say the next one is, well, they have Seventh Son followed by Alvin Journeyman, and then this is the fourth book on the list, but this is labeled as the second book in the series, so I'm not sure. And then at the back of the book it says you can also enjoy Crystal Series, which is part of the series, or the Crystal City, which is part of the series. So I'm not sure. I have to look up online what is the next book in the series and see if I can get a copy of it, either through my library or through a bookstore. So I read that and I enjoyed it. And then I will put a picture of the next book. Yeah, we'll just leave it over there. The next book I'm currently reading, which I didn't bring with me, it is at the place I am sitting at, and it is by Kim Harrison, and it is called Dead Witch Walking, another book right up my alley of urban fantasy with witches, warlocks, vampires, werewolves, you know, the whole gamut of supernatural fae creatures. And so far I am enjoying it. I've only read about 20% of it so far. But I am enjoying it very much, and I believe it is part of another series, so I will have to add that to my series tracker to keep track of. It follows a witch named Rachel Morgan. I think that was her name. And it's another alternate reality kind of fantasy set in an urban setting this time. And the world's a little bit different than our world, so it's interesting, and I'm excited to see where it is going and how the characters develop. And that is what I've been reading. That leads me next to an exciting thing, food. So if you've been around a while, if you've seen any of my past videos, you may know I like potato chips. It is my weakness. It is my go-to snack of choice and my all-time favorite potato chip flavor that I have found, besides Asian, Korean, I think they're Korean, honey butter chips, were Ruffles all dressed potato chips. They came out with a couple years ago. Well, I was in the grocery store and I saw Tim's Cascade potato chips, which may or may not be regional or national, I'm not sure. They had an all dressed flavor, so I picked those up, and they weren't that great. I actually thought they were very vinegary. But when I went to the store again, I had, I think, seen an advertisement, maybe, somehow. I heard that Lay's had an all-dressed potato chips. So I went looking after finishing the Tim's and saying, yeah, they weren't quite good enough. I found Lay's potato chips in an all-dressed flavor. They are perfection. And Lay's is the same company that makes Ruffles. And then when I ran out of Lay's, I went to the store again and found they had brought back Ruffles all dressed. So if you're not familiar with the all dressed flavor of potato chips, it is from Canada, and it is where it originated apparently, and it is a combination of all the flavors of potato chips. So there's like sour cream and onion, salt and vinegar, barbecue, kind of, I think those are the main flavors all rolled into one. That's why Tim's was a little bit too vinegary. Maybe they were a little too heavy on the salt and vinegar. When I don't have those, my next favorite is barbecue. So something that has that sweetness but also tanginess. And Lay's and Ruffles are perfect. So Lay's are the flat, classic potato chips, light and crispy, and then Ruffles, of course, are ridges and thicker and crunchier. And I enjoy them both. They both have the same flavor as far as I can tell, and they are both delicious. So I will put pictures of them up here on the screen if I haven't already. And if you are into potato chips, give them a try and let me know what you think. Other potato chip flavors, while I'm talking about it, that are good, there are some from Zapp's. There are Voodoo potato chips, and I think their Cajun Crawdad are both fairly good. Voodoo potato chips are sort of a sugar and vinegar kind of flavor, from from what I remember. And then crawdad is more of a spicy, allspice kind of flavored potato chip. So yeah, that's potato chips. So if you haven't had a chance, I really recommend it. I'm so happy that Lay's brought the all-dressed potato chips back because they were my favorite, and I would buy them and buy them and buy them repeatedly in the Ruffles, is what they had them in before. And then eventually they stopped making them, and I was so sad and trying to find something else just as good, and now they're back. And I'm excited because I can get them in either regular traditional classic Lay's crunchy potato chips, or I can get them in Ruffles. So yeah. The next thing I want to talk about are coffee creamers and milk. So a while back I had talked about my favorite coffee creamer I had been consuming, which was from Planet Oat. It is an oat-based creamer because I consume non-dairy. I am lactose intolerant. And I have been consuming non-dairy milk for so long that when I do taste actual milk, it's disgusting. So a while back, I had discovered that Lucerne made a coffee creamer that was labeled lactose-free. It was made with milk products, but it was lactose-free. So I was trying different flavors of that. Over the last month or so, I have been feeling a little bit off. I feel like I mentioned in my recent Get Ready With Me that I felt like my body chemistry was wrong. I've been having scalp issues and other things. So I couldn't figure out what had changed in my diet to facilitate this, to create this chemical imbalance in my body. And then I thought, well, maybe it's my creamer, because I switched from a non-dairy to a lactose-free. So I have gone back to Planet Oat. My favorite flavor is their coffee cake, and that's what I'm having right now. And I'm happy to say that I am feeling like my body is getting more in sync. I am also at the beginning of menopause, believe it or not. I just turned 51, and over the last year, I was having sporadic menstrual cycles, and now I'm still probably having sporadic menstrual cycles. I'm not sure. It's sporadic. But I have been having hot flashes and night sweats, and instead of going on hormone replacement or anything, my naturopathic doctor suggested consuming more soy products. So I've been trying to eat more tofu, edamame, and I recently decided to implement soy milk because I eat cereal for breakfast every day, and I had been using oat or almond milk with my cereal, and I decided I'm going to switch it up to soy milk. So I switched to drinking soy milk, having soy milk with my cereal, as well as going back to my oat milk creamer. And I'm happy to say I'm feeling a little bit more myself. I'm still having scalp issues, but I figured that probably takes a little while to heal. So, yeah, that is it. So if you are having those things and you can tolerate soy milk, give it a try. It might help. I'm still having hot flashes and night sweats, so that hasn't gone away, but I am feeling a little more myself. And that's everything I have to talk about. Yeah. I am excited, happy to be feeling more myself, and I hope anything I have shared with you today is helpful, and I hope that you give it a try, or read, or watch, or eat anything I mentioned. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And if you like this kind of content and want to see more, then hit the subscribe button, because I do this every month just to tell you what I've been up to and what has been attracting my interest. So until my next video, take care of yourselves, stay true to you, and remember, I love you no matter who or what you are, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.